Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are recreating or taking inspiration from a matcha latte. This is kind of like a mini series, if you will, of my coffee inspired makeup looks. I will have links or maybe create a little playlist if you guys want to catch up on the two previous looks that I've done. I've done a caramel frappe inspired makeup look and a vanilla latte, and this is a matcha latte inspired makeup look. I took all the prettiest greens that I had, even a green highlighter, and we added it to our face. This is a pretty simple look. It's just a lot of blending and a lot of adding saturation to the eyes, but I promise you, you can totally slay this and you can totally wear this. So with that said, grab your matcha latte or grab your cafecito and let's create this beautiful look. Let's get right into it. I'm taking the Cosmos palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is such an underrated and slept on palette. And I'm taking this neutral shade. I'm taking that into the crease with a big fluffy brush because this is my first transitional shade and I wanted to add a brown, but not too deep of a brown, just to incorporate a little bit of that latte, if you will. And I think this shade was literally perfection. So just blending that, like I said, into the crease, going back and forth using windshield wiper motions. And then I'm taking this green. It's literally like the perfect green. At the beginning, I didn't want to saturate the color too much because I wasn't sure where I was going with this look. I, again, took inspiration from literally a drink. So I had to Google matcha latte drinks and just look at the pictures and kind of see what colors was in the drink or were in the drink. And they definitely had some deep greens. So I am starting off with a light green and then eventually just layering it up a little bit more. I took a little bit more of that brown shade and just made sure that I blended the brown with the green together. This is just going to take some time, which obviously I don't show everything on camera, but I do go back and forth a lot. From that same palette, which is from, I think it's like Bunny Cosmetics, I'm going to lay it all over the lid, and then this is a point where I go back with the green and I really intensify it. So again, take your time and just saturate your colors as much or as little as you want. And at this point, I wasn't feeling the look, if I'm being honest with you. I wasn't sure where it was going, but I'm glad that I kept on because I feel like this look turned out to be extremely beautiful, especially with a mint green. I'm going to take this shade right here from the Cosmos palette, which is a really pretty duochrome green. And I knew that I needed to use this because it was so pretty and it laid so nicely underneath this soft, almost like a minty green. So I just packed that on with my fingers. You can also use the Sage the Day palette from ColourPop and you would get similar results in case you don't have the Cosmos palette from Anastasia. So I loved this little eyeshadow. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I went back and just added a little bit more of that mint green to the inner corner to make it pop even more. I really wanted this to be nice and bright, and I really wanted that mint matcha color to be the center focus. I'm taking this About Face liquid lipstick. Yep, it's a liquid lipstick, but it is the perfect brown. I didn't want to do black because, again, I just wanted to stay within the realms of like coffee and all that. And although this can easily be interpreted as like a chocolate chip look, we're calling it the matcha latte, okay? So I'm just using this with a little paintbrush and then applying some lashes to bring this whole look together. And I think these lashes were perfect. I don't know where they're from, but if I figure it out, I will link them in the description box for you guys. So the eyes are done. I really like the way they turned out. I think once we have the full face, it'll all come full circle. For today though, I definitely want to have very matte skin, like very full coverage matte skin. So I'm going to start off with priming my skin. For that, I'm going to take my Yummy Skin and Water Powder Serum. I believe she has a new setting spray, which I have been very curious about. So let me know if I should get it. so I can let you guys know how it is. But I'm gonna use this to mattify the skin and make it nice and soft. For my foundation, I'm going to go with this one from Frankie Rose, the Matte Perfection Foundation. It is matte and it is full coverage, but it's not like crazy matte and it's not crazy full coverage. So she's right in between. Also, I need to know, are you guys team matcha or team coffee? I am being totally honest. I used to be team coffee all the way. You guys know I used to always drink coffee in the mornings, and I actually have pulled back on drinking coffee a lot because of my gastritis. If you guys have been watching me, I've spoken about this a few times where I started getting really bad gastritis pain, and I knew it was because I was drinking coffee on an empty stomach, and I think the acid from the coffee was just really making me sick. So I still drink coffee, I just don't drink it as often or early in the morning without anything in my stomach. And I had never tried matcha before up until maybe a year or two ago. It just looked green. Didn't look good until I tried it. And I tried it with sweet cold foam and I loved it. So I'm actually gonna get me a matcha later today. I'm gonna go over to my friend's house, and before I go to her house, I'm gonna go get me a little matcha drink. I love it so much. I don't know if matcha has caffeine, does it? I believe it does, right? I just don't think it's as strong. Also, do you guys prefer iced matcha or hot matcha? I've actually never tried hot. I don't know if I would. I love the iced latte from Starbucks, hence today's video. That's literally what I'm taking inspiration from. So I need to know, are you guys iced coffee matcha or iced matcha latte or blended iced matcha latte or hot matcha latte? Let me know. Okay, but do you see what I mean? How this foundation is like the perfect balance of like matte and like a natural finish. I genuinely love it. For my bronzer, y'all, I cannot stop using, where is it? My Glam bronzer. So I'm gonna switch it up today because I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing me use the same bronzer. Let's go in with the Juvia's Place cream bronzer in the shade Caramel. This is such a good one, and I forget about her a lot. I have done a full face of Glam in the past, so let me know what one brand tutorial I should do next. Should I do, let's see, I've done Maybelline, I've done e.l.f., I've done Milani. I haven't done ColourPop. I've done Juvia's. I haven't done any high-end brand because I don't have a lot of high-end makeup. But if you guys have a favorite high-end brand, let me know, which I feel like it's either Makeup by Mario or Rare Beauty. Those are the most popular brands, at least from what I see. I'm also going to go to Ulta later today to see what's new in makeup. Maybe I can do a full face of NYX. NYX has tons of products, so I know that would be a good video. For blush, I'm going to go with pink. I feel like pink and green go really well together, right? I really like this. I'm using this one from L'Oreal, the Lumi Liquid Blush in the shade Dewy Bright Pink. This is one of my favorite like pink blushes. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I've been picking this up again lately and I'm like, oh, I forget how full coverage she is. We love her. Rediscovered this brush in my daughter's collection, which was mine. This is the Morphe, what is this? Complexion brush. I think this one came out when they launched their foundation and it's actually really cute. I like her a lot. So I've been using this side to like blend out my concealer and to contour. So it's a double whammy, you know? I just like to tap in the concealer. And then I like to go back with my brush, the one that I used for my blush. And I like to go over the edges just so I can blend the blush with the concealer and there's not like an obvious line because sometimes I don't blend them really good and I feel like you can see the difference. Okay, For my setting powder, we're gonna try another shade from the new Catrice Blur Bright and Blur setting powder. This is in the shade Soft Pink. I have been using the light peach or something like that, and I have noticed that they oxidize. They are extremely blurring though, extremely blurring, but they do oxidize. They make the under eye a little dark, not dark, but less bright, which I don't love, but I've been using a powder to bring brightness back into my eyes, and I'm going to show you guys in 1 second. I don't think this one does. I mean, it's not as bright as like the claims. Like, do you see how that just kind of makes it super blurred? Yes, like the skin is blurred as can be. No pore in sight, but it's not brightening. So you know what? I'm also going to add blush on top of this. I'm going to use the broken one because I refuse to throw this away. Maybe I'll get one once they become available on Amazon, but this is Cloud Pink, I believe. This is the only one that came broken, and I think this is like the softest pink in the bunch. So I'm just going to bring that here. Look at that. It gives you such a pretty glow. And then I'm going to bring some to the nose. So you guys know that I've been on a kick with the Fenty Beauty Bright Powder in the shade Banana. She slays, but look at this one. This one is like stark white compared to this. This is a lot creamier. It's velvety and a lot more pigmented. So a little goes a long way. This is by Makeup Forever. It is the Artist Highlighter in the shade Cheerful Beige. They do have other shades, but I wanted a lighter shade since I'm going into my winter era. And this, I'm gonna just do one side. Hold on, I'm out of breath. Hello. I was just downstairs and I ran upstairs. Jeez, this is what not working out does to me. See the difference between this eye and this eye. So which one do you like? A or B? We're gonna add to the lower lash line pretty much the same colors, keeping them very close to the lash line. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of white eyeshadow, again, to bring the cold foam into play. And honestly, I just love me a white inner corner. For the waterline, I'm gonna use this eyeliner that I found. It is from Pacifica. It's called, no idea. For the lips, let's go with the ABH lip liner in Cool Brown, one of like my most used lip liners. And then I'm gonna use NYX Suede in the shade Dainty Daze, which is also probably one of my most used lipsticks. Like, I've used quite a bit of this. Why did I leave it like that? Then I'm going to top it off with a gloss, Fortune Cookie from NYX, from their Butter Gloss collection. I'm going to set my skin with my matte setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. I decided to add a little bit of this Wet n Wild Chameleon Chrome highlighter because it has green. And it is so pretty, and I just felt like it really like tied everything else. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with this Matcha Latte inspired makeup look. I think I did a pretty good job. The colors are just so vibrant and they just go so good together. I am about to go get me a matcha. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me a green heart if you made it to the end. I love you guys so much. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye.